My name is Eugenia, and 2 years ago I moved to a tiny village in the mountains of Portugal. Longing to live closer to nature and more in tune with the seasons, I started looking for my dream property and vegetable garden. A place full of fruit trees and bountiful food. After months searching for it, I realized that my dream project didn't exist. It was just a dream. But that big dream was just enough for me to start making it a reality. Once we moved into our land, the first year was about building the foundation of that dream. Starting a garden and having a place where we could find shelter during the following years while we build our forever home. The second year was about creating a home, settling and expanding our vegetable garden from where we could eat daily. With all the knowledge we learned during the past 2 years, we are now embarking into our biggest project, the build of our forever home. And the food forest we always dreamt of, full of trees, food and life. But like every dream, you have got to start somewhere. And the first steps to regenerate this abandoned and desertified land starts today, planting the seeds of pure potentiality to create the future we always long for. I'm really excited because today is the day that I will start the summer garden. I will start planting seeds in 2 ways. I will sprout some of them in plates and then some of them in the seedling trays. Before I do that, the seedlings that I prepared last month, I will have to repot them into a bigger pot because at the same time that I did those seedlings, I also put few seeds directly in the soil. But unfortunately, Lolita has been getting inside the garden and digging the soil. Most of them died and haven't made it. What I will usually do is I will transplant them directly in the garden, just like they are right now, with 2 or 3 leaves. But they are not strong enough, so if you have a cat and your cat gets inside, or you have any other animal that could get inside your garden, I would recommend to either protect them or transplant them once that they are bigger and stronger. but part of the reason why I'm transplanting the seedlings into a new pot is because the soil that I use for the seedlings is usually a light soil, because a seed doesn't need many things, just enough room for the roots to grow at the beginning and water. But if they are there, in my experience, for more than 4 or 5 weeks, the plant starts to lack nutrients, so it needs a new soil with more organic matter, like good quality compost. So that's what I'm going to put in these new pots that I'm going to make. Once the pot is filled, I usually press it a little bit and then I continue filling a top layer. Now I'm going to divide every carton milk in 3 because I don't have enough of them. I also like to divide them because this way the roots of one plant doesn't grow with the roots of the other one, and it's easier to separate one plant from the other. Today is the day that I will start preparing the soil for the future garden. As you may have seen, it's not what I was actually expecting. I thought that because there were some green on it, it was going to be as easy as just putting compost, throwing my seeds, and then that will be the job. But I realized that the soil is full of rocks, is super compacted. That's how life it is. We might have had some plans and then you have to adapt to the new challenges. What I thought, because we have this mini excavator in the building site, I will start flattening more or less where I want to start growing my food, and then mark where I want to plant some of the first trees and where I want to grow food. And try to undig with the mini excavator the rocks. I will just loosen the soil and then dig them by hand. And once that I finish that, I can start throwing the compost. But the first thing that I need to do is to dig all the rocks. There are quite a lot, and many of them are quite big. Let's see if this is easier or harder than expected. For now, this is how the project is going to start. I will collect all the rocks in one side and then probably use it later on to mark some of the garden beds, because this time I won't build raised beds because we don't have the final design yet and we will start growing in the soil. If we would have built garden beds, this probably wasn't necessary because we will just fill the garden beds with soil like I did in the other garden. But because we are growing in the soil, it's important to remove all these huge rocks, so the vegetables have actually space to grow. As we get ready for today's lunch, I went back to memory to last August, when I was still watching the tiny seeds I planted in the garden slowly grow in hopes to one day enjoy the fruits of the hard work and love I put toward them. Just like the love and hard work I put into creating my first blog years ago, and later on launching my first website thanks to Squarespace, the platform that I have been using to launch my farm-to-table garden guide. Their beautiful and functional templates allow me to do so seamlessly. While they handle the logistic, I'm able to focus in my garden and creating new content. They will help you to stand out with a beautiful website, thanks to the many different features they offer. If you would like to start your own website or online store, go to squarespace.com/Eugenia Diaz for a free trial and a 10% off your first order of a website or domain. I will leave all the links in the description box and look forward seeing you creating beautiful things.
After 9, I still wish you were mine. Having 8 and 7.